West Bloomfield School District is committed to supporting a strong fine arts program by providing a wide spectrum of classes and co-curricular programs in music, performing, and visual arts.
Hello, I'm Superintendent Gerald Hill, and I'm here today with Alesia Flye, Deputy Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction. We're joined by West Bloomfield High School teacher and fine arts coordinator Sheryl Hauk, and teachers Micah Greene, Lynn Brosnan, and Alison Davis. Today we're going to talk about fine and performing arts and how the West Bloomfield School District prepares our students.
That's right, Dr. Hill. Our curriculum offers a variety of credited classes for all skills and interests for our students in instrumental and vocal music, performing, and visual arts. We are so fortunate in the West Bloomfield School District to have such a broad range of learning experiences for our students. In fact, Sherry, research shows us that when students are involved in fine arts, particularly beginning at an early age, this has a positive influence on their performance in other academic areas. Do you see indications of this as you work with students in our programs?
Absolutely. In the high school, we have very, very successful students all across the board, but our students in the performing arts and the visual and music are able to problem solve. They're able to work in teams. They're able to concentrate on something and finish with it for a product, and this transfers into all of their academics as well. And so we look at some of our top performers in music and performing arts. They're also top performers in academics and go on to make us very proud in our universities and colleges.
Great.
We recently visited a third grade classroom where teacher Nicole Kutzik was demonstrating vocal technique through a song about autumn, and the lesson about notes and rests, and it was done on the Promethean board. The responses from the students certainly indicated that the powerful role that music plays in their lives. Sherry, why else do you think it's important to teach fine arts and music in our schools?
I personally, and I think that many of our community members believe that it's what makes us human. Fine arts, creating things and sharing our ideas and our feelings and our emotions through the fine arts is the highest part of being a being. It sets us apart from others, and that ability to do that says who we individually are and collectively we are. And after we do that, we are able to we're just able to share more than just producing a plant or producing a test or so I'm very passionate about that, as you can see.
And you certainly see those connections in how they impact student lives.
Absolutely. I see that students every day are able to express who they are through their performing arts and music and visual arts, where in some other instances they're not able to do that.
Our students have also been overwhelmingly successful in scholastic arts and writing, in receiving scholastic arts and writing awards, in forensics, competing in band, at the district and state level festivals. The Laker Express Choir is certainly well known within our district, but I would certainly say as well throughout the state, and have had national performances. They've also had the opportunity to perform at the Michigan Youth Award Festival each year, thanks to your guidance. We also offer advanced placement classes in both music as well as art. Can you tell us about those classes or that experience for students?
So students can take any of the performing arts at all levels, but the higher levels have ensembles that are at state and national levels. We have AP Music Theory, and our students go on to take the test and then place out of music theory in their college classes. We have AP Art, where portfolios are made and students are able to take those portfolios and present them to art schools across the nation. And so we're very proud of what our students are able to produce at the end of not just 4 years at the high school, but 12 years across the board in our curriculum.
Can you also share with us or tell us about the music program in West Bloomfield School District? You mentioned previously that we have comprehensive offerings, so certainly we have many opportunities for students at the high school level, but there are certainly experiences for students at the elementary and middle school level as well, as we are certainly the total package in West Bloomfield School District.
Yeah, absolutely. Recently I've been able to visit all our music classrooms in the elementary level, go to the concerts in the middle school level, and see where comprehensively we're teaching the elements of music so that when they reach middle school and high school years, they have the experience for our strings program, our bands program, and our vocal music program. And very often some of our students are in strings and vocal, or band and strings. We have students that really are in all of the music, and I don't think that would happen without the support of our elementary teachers and their teaching of the musical concepts.
My wife and I have the opportunity, the fortunate opportunity to attend almost every fine arts performance in the district. We try to get to all of them. Share some of the events that we do on an annual basis in our schools.
Well, one of the big events in the music department is we have a Prism concert where all of the Department of Music at the high school play and sing for an hour and a half to 2 hours, all different types of repertoire around the room without anybody clapping. And this includes our award-winning marching band that right now is going to nationals in Indianapolis. We also have an art show for our seniors where our community can come in and see that art. And of course, we don't want to forget our performing arts where we have a wonderful musical and fall play, and able to enhance our students who may not be in the music or visual arts, but have a really good handle on presenting the performing arts.
So for our audience members, if they're interested in attending any of these performances, what's the best way, or what are some ways for them to find information about when and where these are taking place?
So the best way is to go to our Fine Arts website under the curriculum department, and under that fine website is a calendar. They can click on the calendar on an event, see where it is, what time, and who's part of that calendar. And often if we have a big event that includes many of our students, it'll also be on the front page of the Fine Arts department.
Thank you.
So Micah, can you just share with us, Sherry's mentioned that we are so fortunate in our school district to have just such support from our community. Can you just explain for us the historic support that we've had regarding the arts and fine arts programs in general?
Yeah. When I started in the position, and this is my 13th year, but when I started the position, I inherited a very large theater program. I was able to kind of travel through the circles, get to know some of the other fine arts teachers and what they were doing, and I was just absolutely thrilled to death at the infrastructure that was already in place, and a little intimidated because I didn't want to mess anything up. And we've done a great job encouraging students to continue in the work. We've done a great job, despite some economic difficulties, we've done a great job not only preserving the programs, but actually enhancing them and growing our offerings. And I'm seeing that stuff happening across the board with other fine arts teachers. And we're making a lot more connections than we've had before and giving the students a lot of leadership. So historically, it was a very strong district for fine arts, and I'm very happy and proud to say with all of our colleagues, it continues to be.
So Micah, you mentioned you've had the opportunity to see 13 classes come through the system. Yes. Who are some of the alumni of the school district who were highly active in the fine arts, and what are they doing now in terms of their careers that you can
This response we can take, you said an hour or an hour and a half on? It's really exciting, and Sherry can say this too. She's been with us for so many years now, but all over the place. And if they're choir students, they're doing a million different things, not just focusing on vocals, although we have a lot of students that are wonderful vocalists and performers professionally now, but just across the board. We have students in film because of the video program and its growth over the years. We have students who are in finance, who are in the theater program or the choir program. So it's interesting to see that they're not only sticking to some of the trades and skill sets that they focused on, whether it be theater or vocal music, but they're going off into all kinds of other branches and industries and utilizing those same talents. So it's really exciting to talk about. It's kind of thrilling to see the vast array. We do have a lot of students, as I said, in film. We've got students who are doing live theater. We've got students who, as I said, in finance, in medicine. And one of the really proud ones that sticks out like not a sore thumb, but a very happy thumb for me, is one of my former student directors who's actually working in a position at the White House right now. So really exciting time. And it makes us feel, I know, and our administrators, I know, feel really proud of the work that everyone has done to support these students collectively over the years. And it makes it all worth it.
Well, and you both have mentioned the importance of connections, and it's just great to hear of those connections and points of pride for our school district, because we all are so proud of what our students accomplish. But can you tell us, there are some, or maybe some audience members who aren't familiar with the options that our students have. So can you just share with us a little bit about the production options for students at West Bloomfield High School?
It is truly varied. Within the domain of the theater arts program at the high school, we start with a fall play. Any student, and some of the policies I've followed from my predecessor because they were good and they made sense. So any student who wishes to act in it is able to act on stage. We don't have any limitations. In fact, the last few years, it adds a little to the complexity and the logistics, but we have 2 casts simultaneously. After the fall play, we get into the winter season, which the opportunities just multiply. We have our children's show, which is the least time commitment, and it's student-led, student-directed, student-acted. We have the film festival. This year we're producing 6 short films that are being fed into the film festival we host at the school, which is starting to get draws from across the state and even a little bit beyond our state's boundaries now. We've got a Drama 2 class, which is the only component of the theater program that's tethered to curriculum work, daytime work, and the students work to produce 2 one-act plays that are performed during the daytime for other classes and students to come down. And it was actually wonderful to have Dr. Hill in audience last year during one of our performances on the Friday show. And we also have a MIFA one-act company that historically and continues to do really good work and gains all kinds of accolades. And we also have our spring musical, of course, which is the big juggernaut production for the fine arts season. And I'm also partnering up with our debate teacher who ran our forensics program for a number of years, and he's running that collaboratively with me now. And we're talking about adding a improv company coming up. So it's very exciting, very exciting.
Our students have lots of opportunities.
Yes.
So all that time you spend together with you and your students,
yes.
You have to be developing a culture and a relationship with the students. Would you mind describing that culture that you have in the fine arts department?
Sure. Again, the good news is I had a very competent predecessor. I have wonderful colleagues that I work with, and I steal their ideas too, because imitation is the ultimate form of flattery. And we all encourage each other to be better. That's something that has been in place in the district long before I got there, and it continues. So in terms of the collaboration and the development of all of these connections, the culture that we're trying to pioneer is one that basically follows arguably the principles in the book that came out several years ago. All I ever needed to know, I learned in kindergarten. Basic things, you know, doing things the correct way, with the intent that at the end of the day, the core intention being, and this comes from Dr. Andre's time, what's best for the children. And you know, when you stick with that for their long-term development and well-being, then you can be so happy at the outcomes.
Well, our students and our alumni just impress us every day in terms of what they've been able to achieve. How can students, parents, or community members learn more about the district's fine arts program? Generally, the high school's theater program more specifically. So can you speak to each of those?
Sure. I'll kind of fall on the heels of what Sherry mentioned about in terms of going to the website for the district. That's #1 connection. But really, we've got such a wonderful, robust digital presence now that all they need to do is go to Google, type in WBHS Theater or WBHS Choral Department or WBHS Bands or WBHS Art, and they'll find the links and they can find the information. They can search for YouTube videos, find some of our work. So,
as we've shared with you and you've heard, our fine arts take place throughout our district, beginning in elementary school, continuing in middle school, and as well as at the high school level.
Thank you, Sherry and Micah, for joining us today. Stay tuned as we take a short break to return to talk with teachers Lynn Brosnan and Alison Davis. Welcome back. We're here with Lynn Brosnan from Abbott Middle School and Alison Davis, who teaches art at West Bloomfield High School.
Lynn, you've taught in the string program and 6th grade band at Abbott Middle School for many years, and West Bloomfield's music programs consistently receive top ratings at district and state festivals. And you've also had the opportunity to teach students in middle school, you know, when music becomes such an important part of their lives. Can you just share with us how you feel the program does impact student lives at the middle school level and as you've worked with students throughout the district?
You've asked me a question that's my total passion, because I've devoted most of my life to teaching students the wonderful world of learning music and instrumental music. So I could go on for hours, but in short, I think everybody should learn a musical instrument, perform music somehow. It's such a great way for expression and to learn so many different elements of life. And it's a way to even connect to the past when you can perform a composer who wrote 400 years ago and talk about it and say, this is still there. That really seems to make a connection with especially middle schoolers, because they don't usually think about that kind of thing. So to project that forward into their life in this technology day and age, I think it really speaks to most students, and they really grasp that and run with it. It's fun at the middle school level.
Lynn, could you tell us about the All-City Concert and a very prominent person who's joining that group?
Yes, it's so exciting every year to do the All-City Concert. It's always my favorite. Not only do I get to see students that I started on the instrument perform at the high school level, but parents and the students get to hear students who start at the very beginning from Twinkle Twinkle and go all the way through, and you get to hear that progression. Dr. Michael Hopkins from U of M, Ann Arbor, he's in charge of the string music department, and he actually composed the piece that our 8th graders are going to play. It's called Fanfare and Celebration. I know Dr. Hopkins, and I emailed him and said, could you come and work with the kids and conduct them on the concert? He was very excited to be able to conduct his own work, and I just can't tell you how excited I am to have him come and work with the students and talk about composing and even what that's all about.
It's great to hear from a very expert person in the field.
Yes, it is.
And as well as your sense of pride as you talk about the positive influence that music has on students' lives, your sense of pride is so evident as well. Can you share with us also what kind of opportunities do students have in the West Bloomfield School District to compete and perform in the area of music?
Well, in 6th grade, they learn their instruments, and in 7th grade, when they go on, the Michigan Schools Band and Orchestra Association opens up some competitions from 7th grade through 12th grade. They can compete at the Solo and Ensemble festivals, where they can take a solo or work in small chamber groups and perform for judges. Then in 8th grade, we take the orchestra and the bands as groups, as larger groups, and perform. They get adjudicated and rated against other schools that are comparable. We do many different other outreach kinds of things. We get to go back to the elementary schools, which they love to do, to go back to their elementary school and perform for their younger teachers when they were younger. They get to, each year, perform more and more until they get to the high school where they can actually do the accompaniments for musicals and things like that. So it's quite a progression. It opens up quickly and the students love doing it.
Alison, you can't help as you walk the halls at West Bloomfield High School and just see the quality and the kind of art our students have on display throughout the high school. It is always so impressive. And as you think about West Bloomfield High School and having a comprehensive program for our students, you know, the department teaches students to create works of art that both express their message and are visually pleasing to look at and reflective of experiences that they have, as well as photography and drawing. Many of them are three-dimensional media as well. So tell us about the program and the kind of experiences that our students have to produce such quality work that we often see as we visit and walk the high school hallways.
Well, the students do start out in art foundations, so we have a good building block for the kids. They have the opportunity to take either art foundations or 3D art foundations, and from there then they have just a really wide variety of classes to choose from the drawing to advanced drawing to ceramics, jewelry, metal smithing, photography, which is of course my specialty. But there's just a ton of things for them to do, and then we also have art club and some other after-school classes that we're going to be trying to implement to give them even more choice. So,
Alison, you mentioned art club. What kinds of activities do students have the opportunity to get involved in if they join the art club?
Well, it's an after-school program that meets once a week, and Miss Marshall is the teacher that heads that up. She has the kids working on anything from fine art to arts and crafts. They plan for the annual art sale, student art sale each year. They also do a little bit of fundraising, and they'll do field trips to different places around the area, including the DIA down in Detroit.
Alison, one of the points of pride within our community is certainly the number of advanced placement courses we offer for our students. There are approximately 24 at West Bloomfield High School, and I know we also offer an advanced placement class in the area of art. Can you tell us a little bit about the advanced placement studio art class?
The AP Studio Art class is for kids that are just a little bit more serious about art. It's something that they have a drive and a passion for. So they'll take that class. It's a year-long course, and at the end they produce they produce 24 pieces. So it's quite extensive, and it's not only do they produce some really, really incredible artwork, but it's a little bit more in depth in terms of concept, and they just really come through. We have some incredible work. They also will end up entering their work into scholastics. So they have opportunity there for scholarships as well with their work.
So I understand that the community members have an opportunity to purchase some of our students' artwork. How do they do that?
Well, we've for the past 3 years now, we have had a holiday art show, and we'll have that sometime during the holidays, and it will be announced, and we'll have it on our website, school website. They can come in and see what both the after-school programs produce through the art club, and then our classes will also take time to produce some of their work for sale. So, and we use that to actually raise monies for the art department.
And I know you mentioned this briefly, Alison, but could you give us more information or talk a little bit more about the Scholastic Art and Writing competition that our students participate in?
Yeah, it's a very prestigious art competition, regional competition. Kids that are selected are displayed at CCS. And they can go down and see their work on display for several weeks down there. And those that do very well and place high at that competition have then the opportunity to go to a national level where their work will be displayed in New York. So it's quite a competition. And I have to tell you, every year the goal is to get to that. The kids really absolutely love it, and to see them get that recognition and to see the pride that they have when their work is on display is wonderful. So.
And another goal for the West Bloomfield School District as well as West Bloomfield High School is to expand the number of ways that we partner with businesses and various community members. And I know within the art department at West Bloomfield High School that there are plans to offer an after-school college art class in partnership with Kendall College. Can you share with us who will have the opportunity to participate in that experience?
It will be a college level art class, as you said, so it's through Kendall. It'll be after school 2 days a week. It's for 3 college credits, and it's for any student that is looking really to be in the arts and would like to get a head start on their college curriculum in the arts. It is at a greatly reduced price as well, so it is a good opportunity, and we're hoping that kids really take advantage of it.
The West Bloomfield School District provides a framework for students to develop their experiences through choir, band, orchestra, theater, and visual art. Thank you for joining us today, where we have taken a closer look at fine arts and performing arts in the West Bloomfield School District and how our teachers are providing students with opportunities through a wide spectrum of offerings that will help students become well-rounded individuals.